Good afternoon. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Take a look at the weather today. It was like in the low 70s, man. Can't believe it's like typically this time of year we're like in the 80s and the 90s, and we were this week a little bit, but a little cold front pushing through. I actually had some waves this morning and yesterday. Don't see them today, but no less. Speaking of waves, man, what a wavy day when it comes to precious metals markets. And got my little theme of the day, or my quote for the day, which is right here. We live in a society that is governed by corrupt, corporate-controlled scumbags. I don't know who Stephen McGee is, but man, he got that correct. That's for damn sure. The prices that we're seeing in the COMEX markets today is just, it's so in your face. It's so, it's not even, but relax. Don't worry about it. Fret not, as I say here, and right here, don't fret, folks. Everything's cool with that. And I'll get to that in a moment. Meanwhile, let's take a look and see what they're doing in the COMEX markets here. Gold, not so bad as silver, man. Of course, that's kind of what we expected. We're seeing a sub $21 silver sitting in the high 20s right now. But let's talk about gold first. 1834.99 and a high of 1859 in the overnight markets, 24-hour markets. We'll take a look at the 24-hour charts here shortly. Currently sitting at 1835.47, and what time is it? It's 11:52 a.m. Eastern time. So I suspect the damage that they wanted to do today has already been done. We should be about sideways from here. Silver, there's no telling, man. They're just relentless. The crooks are just relentless with silver. But again, relax. There's two things you can do in this environment. If you're already bought in, you got plenty of gold and silver, relax. You bought it mostly as wealth preservation. You didn't buy it to get rich quick, so relax. Don't panic. And I know most of you old timers out there like myself, we don't panic in this environment. We do two things. We either buy the frickin' dip, or we go fishing, or whatever you do. Go ride your motorcycle, go fishing, go visit the grandkids, go whatever that makes you happy. Don't sit here and stare at down markets. That probably applies to a lot of different things, especially when you've made the educated decision to buy these kind of metals right here as a hedge, not as a get-rich-quick scheme. You see what happens to get-rich-quick people. They lose it. You can make it big, but chances are most people are going to lose it, and you're not going to do that with precious metals. And then, even silver, looking at the scary levels it is right now. Remember, this is just sheer manipulative behavior. For you new folks that are listening, don't panic into it. That's exactly what they want you to do. They want you to sell into this market. Don't sell into this market. In fact, keep putting the pressure on them by buying physical. And again, if you're bought in completely, relax. Let this cycle run through. It's a good opportunity for the buy the dippers. And for those of you that are already bought in, like I said, just go fishing, do something fun. It's springtime, it's summertime, and this too shall pass fairly quickly. For those of you that are in a forced position to sell, it sucks. All right, if you're forced to sell metals to come up with money for something, and again, I'd probably sell equities and others. In my opinion, I am not a financial advisor, and I got to say this because it's true. My expertise lay in the physical markets in gold and silver. However, me personally, I'd get rid of a lot of stocks I think that really are about to tank or should tank. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe stocks have already hit their bottom. Stonks. Take a look at silver, 28.88 the low, 21.68 the high, and silver 20.92 currently. So sitting up close to that $21 mark. So I'm kind of surprised. I really didn't think we'd see a sub 21. And I really still don't feel we're going to see a sub $20 unless we're in just some absolutely collapsing market like we saw in 2008. And perhaps we are. Maybe we are in a 2008 type collapse, except it's in real slow motion. In fact, funny, I'm going to just throw this out there. That's kind of what this feels like, actually, with the gold and silver prices getting knocked down and equities going down. It feels like 2008, except in extreme slow motion to some degree. But no less, there's no reason for prices to be like this where they are right now, except for, again, sheer manipulation in the COMEX markets. Platinum, 934.64, a high at 995, almost $1,000 there. What a range. You usually don't see platinum hitting that kind of range, and that's a good percentage right there if you think about it. So let's take a look at the 24-hour charts and see which COMEX CME group owned COMEX market this occurred in. Of course, in the NYMEX COMEX markets here, midday is really what got slammed most. There you go, and the downward trend to gold in 1835. Folks, I honestly believe, and I've been saying this for a while, that the reason we're seeing gold go down is because of the same type of manipulation in the COMEX and NYMEX markets, except it's a lot harder to manipulate gold at such a larger level because, you know, gold has so many different marketplaces all over the world where silver is kind of limited. I believe COMEX, NYMEX, COMEX markets are the largest, you know, as far as the price discovery in silver, and the largest silver trades are done in the COMEX markets. So, but when gold is kind of internationally traded, but they're hammering gold in the COMEX markets for sure too. And I wouldn't doubt that GATA.org would be absolutely correct in thinking that governments are also hammering gold markets to some degree. The reason being is the Fed doesn't want to see people fleeing into gold. There's another good reason why that the GATA.org would probably be correct in assuming that, or not assuming, but showing the facts that governments do intervene in the gold market, so does the Fed. Think about this. China and Russia's big strength is gold markets, all right? They're heavy in gold, oil, and other type commodities, but gold is going to be one of the primary trade units between these countries. So why wouldn't governments maybe just say, hey, go ahead, we'll screw the price of gold, it's screwing the Russians, it's screwing our enemies. But on the other hand, too, it's stepping on their own dicks, and maybe they're smart enough to figure that out as well. But take a look at the charts here, COMEX markets and COMEX. And by the way, let's give COMEX a call again today. I think they deserve a nice call from us today. And again, civil, we need to call them and give them a nice little hello and let them know that how crooked we think that their silver bourse is in the COMEX casino. And here we go. Here's your spot silver prices right there. Getting really, look at this, the drop here, pre-COMEX opening in the morning. This is where most of the trade is done in silver. When you see trades, big trades done in silver and gold in these early, maybe not so much in London, but in silver in these wee markets here, that's just pure spoofing in my opinion. Pure manipulative, maybe not exactly spoofing, but this is just bullshit. Nobody sells large amounts of silver in thinly traded markets in the evening or early morning and for any other reason than just to drop the fucking monkey hammer down on the prices. Again, collusive behavior on the COMEX or on CME-owned COMEX markets here, the NYMEX and the Globex, and as we call them, the CRIMEX markets. Interestingly enough, I want to talk, again, we'll get to the numbers to call with those guys. I'll shoot them up for you one more time. We'll show you who to call today and let them know that you're not happy with their casino, their crooked-ass casino. Again, this is my opinion. This stuff is happening. My opinion, they're crooks. My opinion that they're allowing this to happen. But don't call them up and say that. Be civil. You know, bring them the right picture. Just say, hey, listen, you guys are allowing these big commercials to monkey hammer the silver prices. They're not there to hedge. They're only there simply to monkey hammer prices down and to blow out the long side positions and buy back and repeat and rinse. All right, and they do it collusively all together in one large group. I mean, they've been doing it for years. The data will prove this, but no less. When you call them to complain, don't scream at them, don't yell at them, don't be a jerk, don't make it look like we're a bunch of conspiratorial assholes. We're not conspiratorial. We got the facts here, folks. It's a little complicated to explain to them for some of us, but the data's out there. Ted Butler talks about it, and again, all you have to do is let them know you're aware of it and you think the credibility of their casino is going downhill fast. For those of you that are more familiar with the technical terms and the COT reports and such, familiar with what Ted Butler talks about, and some of the stuff that I'm trying to show you as well, you can kind of explain to them exactly, give them a little more detail, and chances are you're not going to get to talk to anybody, but I'm going to give you a phone number also here, someone to call and talk to. And did I put it up? I don't know. I'm going to take a look. Well, 1,000-ounce bars. The reason I put this up is obviously I put JM Bullion up here because here's my advertisement here. Give me 30 seconds, folks. Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. We're in South Florida since 1995. I've been doing this since 1977, second-generation dealer, so I know the retail and wholesale silver and gold markets really well when it comes to bars, all right? I'm not a paper trader. I'm learning a lot about that stuff as well, paper and COT reports, as you know, and not just COT. Paper, I'm learning the paper markets, I'm learning charts and graphs, and as I learn them, I'm also teaching you as we go. But no less, what I do know is product. I know product real well. 1,000-ounce bars, this is just ridiculous, so we won't use JM. But I advertise to beat JM, Bullion, SD, and APMEX on the more reasonably priced products that they have. which would be generic products right now. 1 ounce, 10 ounce, and 100 ounce bars are the best deal. And again, I can beat JM Bullion and add SD Bullion and APMEX at that in their prices. And I am a local dealer. We do cash and carry up to 10 grand over. That's checks only with proper ID. But we've been here a long time, and I can beat their prices, give you good advice. And onward with that, the same thing with gold. The best deal out there in gold is still, remember this is still my commercial, folks, is 1 ounce, 10 ounce, 1 ounce, 1 ounce generic Valcombi bars, 1 ounce generic bars in general. After that, the sovereign products like Gold Eagles, Gold Maples, and other things, they're spot plus $100 or more. Again, I can beat the online guys, so if you live in South Florida, I'm the guy to see. If you don't live down here, unfortunately, and you live outside my area here in South Florida and you can't come and buy from me directly, I encourage you to find a good local dealer. Not because JM, APMEX, and SD are bad guys, just because keep that money local, and I think you'll get better advice and better prices if you can find a good local guy like myself. Well, with that said, 1,000 ounce bars. The premium on 1,000 ounce bars has gone up substantially. I was just looking, Johnson Matthey, that's ridiculous, 24. I went over to look at the SD, and SD has a far better price on what you would call 1,000 ounce bars, but really they're what we call in the industry odd weight bars, COMEX bars. So they have a COMEX 975 ounce bar here. I did the math. Remember, it's not a 1,000 ounce bar. They have them as low as 21,964. That puts those bars at $1.44 over spot. Ted, now, why am I bringing up 1,000 ounce bars? Because Ted Butler just brought up the fact that 1,000 ounce bars are becoming tougher and tougher to source for people looking for physical in these paper markets to back up their paper. And I can't really get into the details. Again, I don't remember the details exactly. I got to be honest with you. I just read the article. But he said 1,000 ounce bars are becoming more scarcer. So for that, I went and looked. What do I do best? I can look and see what the wholesale and retail numbers are on these type of bars. And currently, the wholesale, not the wholesale, but the retail market, which is SD Bullion, has the best price. And again, I could beat these prices on these type of bars if you wanted them. But they're a spot plus $1.44. And trust me, you don't want them. They're too difficult to ship for most retail people. Too difficult to carry, too difficult to handle, but that's still, you can't beat the price. Spot plus $1.44. All right. Typically, these things were less than $1 over, so I can tell you, it looks like and not all the sites carrying them. JM has no 1,000 ounce bars except for the overpriced JM one they have in stock right there. So it looks like Ted's right. 1,000 ounce bars are becoming even scarce. You know, those were the easiest bars to get if you really had to buy some silver. And for the big commercials and the big buyers and the big institutional physical buyers and the not commercial, what I'm talking about, manufacturing, they would buy these type bars as well, and I'm sure they're paying more for them, which tells me that the silver price is so monkey hammered down when it's just a bullshit number, you know. Silver's, and again, I don't know how many of these bars you can buy. I just counted up how many SD had in stock. I think they had like, 4, 8, there's 16, and 20, 24, there we go, 20, like 28 or 29, less than 30, that's a 15 kilo bar. They got like 28 bars or something like that. 28,000 ounces and 28,000 ounce bars. But they seem to have the most of them out there, and they were at $1.44 over, which is higher than the prices normally. So that's talking about silver. Let's go into the charts here real quick and see what's happening here. Gold prices, 100-year historical chart. This is macro trends chart, and again, I always like to talk about gold. I talk to you silver guys, and you know, you got to know where gold goes, silver will follow. No matter how much they monkey hammer silver down, they can only keep gold price down so long. Silver's such a small marketplace. That's why you see these. It's so easy for them to manipulate that marketplace. It is. Silver's such a small marketplace. It's primarily traded in the COMEX markets. That's why it's so easy for them. It doesn't take them a lot of money versus other, you know. There's other markets that are much, you know, oil market. They're not going to be able to do the same kind of money with oil as they do with silver. Silver markets are a tiny market, hence the reason that it's so easy to manipulate and for them to dip dollars in their pocket doing it by their collusive behavior. But I always tell the silver guys, you got to follow gold because it's going to be harder for them to manipulate the price of gold. A lot of you are looking at this graph saying, what the F is that? 1979, October, gold wasn't at, gold hit an $800 high. But hey, this is the inflation-adjusted chart at macro trends, which I really like. Now, they're going to use the official inflation rate. So obviously, I believe that 1980 official inflation rate adjusted gold price was much higher than 24.34, if you ask me. Okay, so and it really probably is another 10% higher at least. So I'm going to say that's probably at least in today's dollars, probably $2,600, probably $2,700. Conservatively speaking, that's what the comparable $800, $1,980 gold was like. And you're going to ask yourself, Brian, why are you bringing up 1980 gold? What's that got to do with today? Well, folks, in my opinion, again, silver guys, you got to follow where gold goes, and where gold is going is where it went in the 1980s. I believe that we're in this period right here. We're in this period as far as I'm not exactly sure on the chart if I was going to make a comparison to today to then, but if you look at the inflation, the misery index, and the rate of inflation and the growth of inflation, it is so scarily similar to the 1970s and the 80s, where we saw that hyperinflation, not hyperinflation, but we saw inflation rates just soar. We saw the price of gold and silver soar. I believe we are at the same level. I'm not quite sure on the chart where I would call this. I believe that we're going to see, you see this 1980 high of, again, inflation adjusted dollars, they show 24. I'm betting it's closer to 26, 28 at the time. But I think we're going to blow right past that in inflation adjusted dollars here. What are they showing for the last bull we had here, which was the last? Again, take a look at this, folks. We've hit our high, not in inflation adjusted dollars here, but we basically hit our highs in gold 3 times in the last decade here or more. I mean, that's 2012 right there, right? 2012, yeah. In a decade or so, we've hit highs in gold twice. How many highs have we hit in silver since 2012? Only 1, all right? So, well, we did hit 2, but we're missing a high in silver for this period as well. So I think silver is going to fly right through the roof when they finally lose their clutches, when these people in the corrupt corporate-controlled scumbags lose their control on these commercials, lose their control on the silver. And they will. I believe, again, that the paper markets are the tail and the dog is the physical markets, and the physical markets are going to be wagging that tail pretty soon, like they should have for the last, I don't know how many decades. But again, we're going to blow through these highs here in gold pretty soon, and that is going to pull up the price of gold. The gold to silver ratio, let's do that real quick because I can do that with Siri. Let's see if Siri works for me. Ready? It's still pretty high, which tells me 2 things. Gold is either going to continue to fall. I mean, they're kind of going in tandem a little bit, but that ratio is staying the same. All right, let's do this. 1,835.47 divided by 20.92 equals 87 to 1. Oh my gosh, there's that spread that I've been talking about. I said that they have monkey hammered gold down, but not as much as they'd like to. The spread is so out of whack right now, and if this spread starts widening, this is making a great case for a fucking awesome bull market. I think we're going to see another one coming up here. And Ted Butler talks about that in a moment. We'll get into that as well. Meanwhile, let me get into, let's see what the equities are doing. Sucking wind. And the only reason equities haven't completely collapsed because I believe the the plunge, I keep saying that, the plunge protection team is in there, which is the Fed and the government propping up this market right here to prevent a total collapse. They want to let the air out of the balloon slowly, but I talk about that all the time, and I'm not the only one that talks about that. People way smarter than me believe that as well, and they can plot the points and show you why they believe that. I'm not going to do that here. There's a lot of people that can do that for you. Poor Bitcoin, man. Someone said yesterday, Brian, don't talk about Bitcoin. You don't know a lot about it. I don't, but I'm like the vast majority of people out there. I don't know a lot about it. All I do know is what I'm seeing. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing. And it wasn't all the things they told us. And also the hype about becoming millionaires, buying Bitcoin. You know, it reminds me of the hype that we saw in other markets. And it's not the fault of the Bitcoiners that are really smart and make money in that market. It's just that greed factor, and I think that kind of hurt Bitcoin as well. Not to mention something that I candidly believe, and I believe I'm absolutely correct on this, the reason Bitcoin will never succeed as well as I'd like to see it succeed as an alternative to the U.S. dollar is because governments and bankers hate competition, man. They just don't allow it to happen. So Bitcoin, and again, you've got the whales in Bitcoin now. You've got the BlackRocks, you've got the whales in there. They do what they want with these markets until they get caught. And well, anyway, we know how that goes. The silver people. Hey, while I'm doing this, let me spin the coin because I've forgotten to spin the coin a couple times last week, and let's see where that's going. I'm gonna go over to the next page. it's a bull. My coin is a perma bull, but on the other hand, too, I think my coin is just reading the long-term markets. Well, the bull is for tomorrow, so let's see what happens tomorrow. That's why I roll a coin for tomorrow's markets, and maybe we'll see a bounce back tomorrow. We'll see. Trump. All right, let's not talk about that. Wins Republican, of course. Craig Hemke, upward reversals. Of course, we're going to see reversals. I read about that. Nothing new here, but for you new folks out there, GATA.org is the #1 when it comes to explaining how gold and silver markets or gold markets are manipulated, particularly by governments and government-type entities and bankers. You should read this. It's definitely really good for you new folks. For you older folks out there, make sure you have this bookmarked on your bookmark bar because listen, you got to know the who, how, and why. If you're sitting at the card table and you don't know who the sucker is, you're the sucker. This is why you need to know the who, how, and whys, and GATA.org is good at explaining that. Speaking of GATA.org, my favorite guy when it comes to silver, big fan. Again, I'm not a fan of really, I hate to use the word fan. It's so lame. But I do admire this gentleman, and Ted Butler basically believes this, and I hope Ted doesn't mind me sharing little pieces of his articles. He does normally, and if you're not a subscriber to him and you're in the industry or you're in the business, you happen to be listening to my videos, definitely subscribe to Ted Butler. He tells you who the players are. He shows you how not to be the sucker at the table, more or less. All right. Or, well, anyways, he gives you tools and data and information that helps you not be the sucker at the table necessarily. And Ted says here, since he's still convinced we're very close to a major price bottom, I feel the same way. In silver and gold, I shouldn't be surprised at the sudden outpouring of completely unfounded bearish talk. I've been seeing it as well, folks. See it in the comment section, see it in the videos that other people do. Oh, silver's done for. All right. And Ted says here, I've actually read comments suggesting that the rising inflation actually hurts the chances of silver going higher. And how could silver drop close to zero because much of its production is eroded? A lot of nonsense out there going to float around in this market, this monkey-hammered downward market right now, folks. But Ted puts down here, some people would tell him silver will never rise, give it up. And those are the most ignorant comments, but Ted knows that as well. And he believes, as I do, and I don't want to kind of show you too much of his article because it is a paid subscription, but he believes that we're nearing the bottom. It's hard to pick these bottoms, and I agree 100%. I'd like to say I did. And I actually put myself out there a couple times in the last 3 or 4 months saying that I don't think we're going to see sub $20 silver unless, again, we see a complete collapse in the marketplace and equities like we did in 2008. Then we could see $15 silver, but you were never going to buy it at that level. That's just going to be a paper collapse. But no less, I don't think, unless we see an economic collapse like we did in 2008 or that kind of mode, that we're going to see sub $20 silver. However, maybe we are in a 2008-like collapse right now, except it's in slow motion. That one happened very fast. This one might be happening in a slow motion kind of way. Why? Well, the only thing that the government learned and banks learned is they don't like bubbles to pop. Maybe they're just walking this one down slowly, and we're kind of seeing a slow motion effect of that across all markets. But again, that's a whole different story. And I believe, Ted, 100%, we're near the bottom, heading to the bottom. And a lot of you folks are going to get upset, especially you new folks. Oh my God, I bought at a higher level. Relax, relax. Take a vacation, go fishing. If you haven't, if you're not cost averaging and buying the dips and you're done buying, go take a vacation. Sleep through it. Don't worry about it, folks. This too shall pass. And crypto, what did we talk about? All right, man, I got into quite a few things here. There's my Ukraine thing I was talking about earlier in the week. And let's take a look at ZH, see what's new in the ZH headlines here before I move into some other things. What other things are we going to talk about? JP Morgan is talking about the stock market, equities market. Is this the market bottom? Hey, even those guys are asking, is it the market bottom? But no, it's not. I don't think it is. When it comes to the equities markets, I think we got some more room to go on that. Again, I'm not an equities guy, so I'm not going to sit here and talk about stocks and bonds, but in my personal belief, no. And you can let me know what you think down in the comment section too. Do you think this is the market bottom like JP does for equities? I don't believe that. Another idiot out there. Gosh, I can't believe people listen to that person. This is going to be a real bane on commercial real estate. Why would they keep poking the bear? You guys know what I'm talking about. Why do you keep doing that? Where are the peacemakers out there? Well, there's none in NATO, obviously. All they're trying to do is create a war for whatever fucking reason I don't understand. Maybe it's a good way to get rid of the old weapons like I talk about. Man, they got garages full of these old outdated weapons they need to use up. Why not use them up in Ukraine? And why not use them up with their favorite old arch enemy? All right, I'm not going to get into it. This is just scary. This person is just plain frickin' scary. And this is not conspiracy. This is the head of that particular department right there. Plain effing frightening. George Orwell would be spinning in his grave at such a speed he could create electricity. All right? Frightening. But then again, hopefully come midterms, we're going to start to see all these people disappear into the fairy dust that they came from. All right, I'm not going to go because there's not much here to talk about record high gold, record high oil prices. By the way, higher oil prices usually indicate higher gold prices. And let's take a look. Where did I learn that from? I learned that from the macro charts here, right? Let's take a look here real quick. Gold to oil ratio, gold versus oil prices. Take a look at this. I'm going to close that. By the way, macro charts are free to look at. Here you go. Where oil goes, gold eventually follows, and I believe that's pretty much true, folks. Just like where gold goes, silver follows. Where oil goes, gold will eventually follow, and silver will follow behind it. We may be seeing $200 or $300 gold here, $200 or $300 oil prices here, and $200 or $300 silver prices. Wouldn't that be nice? But anyway, here's another idiot right here, in my opinion. But remember, I'm a libertarian. I didn't vote for either one of them, so I just scratch my head every election since I've been born. Where do they get these people? All right, let's take a look. All right, I'm done. Let's get out of this ZH. I could just go off on that stuff. Talk about yesterday's video, which is desperation and capitulation at COMEX. And my desperation mode, my desperation title there is what I'm talking about, is that the manipulation is so in our face, so in our faces, so they're not even trying to hide it, okay? It's just so excessive and aggressive that you can tell they're in desperation mode, folks. They wouldn't be this aggressive and this open about their manipulation and their collusive illegal behavior unless they're in desperation mode, and they are in desperation mode because they have these huge shorts they got to cover. And Bank of America still has that probably huge physical position they got to cover. So they're in desperation mode, folks. And desperate people, what did they say yesterday? Desperate entities do desperate things. And the fact that the people won't go to jail and the entity won't go to jail will create a more desperate situation where they don't even care. Capitulation means when they finally, everything blows up in their faces, are they going to keep continuing the same behavior of shorting silver like they did in that manipulative behavior? Highly unlikely. Maybe they'll learn their lesson. Maybe they won't. We'll see. Let's take a look at comments here. Hey, Michael, I'm going to have a sip of coffee and see what's going on. Thanks for watching. Vila Lanice says deleting censoring my comments. Well, who's deleting and censoring your comments? That's weird. I've had that happen, though, on some of my stuff, but a couple times I forgot to hit the send button. So that kind of sounds, like Mr. Matthew says, sounds fishy. But you never know. Sometimes comments are censored. I mean, I don't know. Only way I would censor a comment in my section down here is if someone is just nasty or mean or uncivil or, calling people nasty names, unless it's COMEX. If you're calling COMEX nasty names, I get it. You're rightfully doing so, but I'd like to keep it civil. But other than that, yeah, that's kind of strange. I agree, Vila. That's odd. Michael, I agree as well. Joey, what's up? Hey, I mean, man, it's nice to be able to buy the dips. Man, you must have a lot of money to be able to buy silver. And folks, one thing I want to tell you is don't stick all your money, all your eggs in one basket. I know, I've repeated that in my store consistently, Don't put all your eggs in, it's a great way of wealth preservation. If you feel really bullish, buy more, but, you certainly don't want to put all your eggs in your one basket. Now, I'm not one to talk because a lot of my eggs are in the gold and silver basket, but remember, it's my business. It's a lot different for me. So, but no less, when the stock market gets to where I think is bottom, I'm going to go and buy some good stocks, some companies that I think are going to do well. So I'm not opposed to doing that either. Same with real estate, and I've lost out on a couple markets by not doing that, but I have stuck a lot of money in gold and silver at my business, not the metals themselves, but my business, which owns a lot of gold and silver. Stack physical assets, fine-tune your physical skill sets. Yes, the Last Living Cowboy, COMEX, how are you doing? Welco, hope you didn't think this is, no, not at all. I'm always like, I didn't get a chance to really watch it, I'll be honest, but I don't mind. I don't really feel competition, man. I'm doing this to compete with local dealers in South Florida, who I can beat their prices, by the way. Here's my advertising again. So this is my form of advertising in South Florida. The fact that it gets out to people outside of my area here is great. I hope I'm educating some of you folks out there, helping you make better purchases. And maybe I'm entertaining as well. The boomer says, coming down with no amount of manipulation will stop the collapse of a rigged system. You're absolutely, the riggers will lose control of their own system as nothing will seem to work as planned. Can't argue with that. And there was another quote here I saw that, I'm not a religious man, but where was it? You know, you can see where I get my quotes from. There you go. Do not fret because of those who are evil, or be envious of those who do wrong. For like grass, they will soon wither. Like green plants, they will soon die anyway. And that's exactly true, sir. I believe that 100%. You're right. They're going to wither away and die. Keep stacking, everyone, in my opinion, as it is JTB's opinion. Thanks for watching and commenting. BS Detective, silver $17 coming. Again, BS Detective, unless my couple theories here that we are in a slow motion economic crash like 2008, and or we do see a crash overnight or a quick crash like '08, I just don't see sub 20 coming. I think they're near their desperation point, and we're also near bottom. But you never know. Never underestimate central banks and big crooked banks and casinos as well. Thanks for watching. I bounced my first. Cool, man. Good to hear, Eric. Nice to see that you're buying. So far, now my silver's spoiled, going bad. Never will. Never will do that. And it'll never go bankrupt either. James, thanks for commenting. Jeanette, you as well. Appreciate that. And hey, that's kind of a nice way to look at it as too. You know, buy the dips when you can. And again, for you guys already bought in and you're all nervous and worried, don't worry. Like I said, go fishing, go ride your motorcycle, go to the beach, go hang out with the kids, something. You know, don't sit here and stare at these prices. You'll go crazy. I have to because it's my job. I've already gone crazy a long time ago, so I'm past this. I'm jaded by these big swings, and that's why you hear my smiling. I get a little mad sometimes, you know, but the only reason I get mad is because, not because I'm not worried about gold and silver, you know, going bankrupt and never going up again. That's not even remotely in my picture. You know why I get mad? It's because it just, especially for new people out there, when they see this stuff and they don't listen to videos like mine, they don't hear the truth, is that it's the perception that the market is crooked or fucked up. You know what I mean? And at some point, the general perception is, well, silver's never going to go up. That's what you hear from the people that don't know what's going on. Those are the suckers at the table, all right? They don't know what's going on. But that's what bothers me, is that it should be an upstanding, good marketplace to play. There should be honesty in the silver markets, not the dishonesty we see. I hate dishonesty. I hate fucking crooks. You know what I mean? So there's my reason right there. It's not that I don't believe that silver will overcome that and these people will wither and die like the grass does in that religious saying I just said, but no less. Here, let me go on. Thanks for, I digress. Gee, there's no shortage of silver, just high premiums. Well, that's the result of, there's no silver shortage in the form, but if you went and wanted to buy, you know, a couple 10, 15, 20,000 ounces of kilos or 1 ounce or 10 ounce bars, you know, in a whale type fashion, semi-whale type fashion, that's not a whale really, but if you wanted to stock up a bunch of that at those prices, you might have some delivery issues there. So, and the reason the premiums are so high is because again, it's scarcity out there. You're even seeing 1,000-ounce silver bar prices start to go up. Adam says two things are true. Silver is fairly underground, is just weak, or the manipulation, and their preference is a lower silver price. That's probably true, Audrey. Their preference is a lower silver price in that crooked marketplace. But again, eventually the dog will wag the tail again, I believe, one day. Monkey Hammer, thank you, Audra. Welco, there you go. That's a funny story. I would have lost my key too on the Bitcoin. And that's what I said. I almost bought Bitcoin when it was like $6 per Bitcoin. Man, that was shortly after I read it in a Wired magazine or something. I thought, oh, that's cool. Let me go back. I can afford $20, $30, $50. I would have bought, yeah, it's $6 each. But I don't lament because I felt this. I would have lost the keys. I know it. I know how I am with passwords. I would have lost them. At the time, I would have lost them. I don't know if today it's easier to lose them. Rusty Rabbit, yep, stop digging silver because there's no money in cause a shortage. No, that's not necessarily cause a shortage. I believe they're still digging. I'm not quite sure what the, some mines are profitable, some are not. But a lot of silver is actually the byproduct of a copper. And nickel and other mines. I think copper primarily though. So a lot of silver comes as a byproduct in copper mining. I don't think they've stopped the copper mining. I don't think they have, but it did get disrupted. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Christopher. Che Chong, appreciate that. No one in markets, they are laughing at us. No one in the markets, they don't even, they're not laughing, Che Chong. They don't even see it. We're not even on the radar quite yet. We're starting to become on the radar. We're starting, their credibility will come to issue at some point when a larger amounts of people understand this, but they're not laughing. They'd have to know us to laugh at us, and they don't even know us, so relax there. Only stupid complainers that does zero to their actions, just blah, blah, blah to them. Well, if that's the way you believe it's just blah, 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 then just don't say anything. Just let everyone else do the work for you. Anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Do your family and friends watch your show? I hope not. That's pretty cool. I told you my story there. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm 11, appreciate that. Tree climber, Russia's been created by, yeah, that's true, I believe. You know that old thing from Brady Bunch, Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. I've been saying it, Russia, Russia, Russia. Blaming Russia. Well, they had the Critter 19 to blame for everything, and then all of a sudden, they lost the Critter 19 to blame for the world's ills, so they could take the focus off of their idiocy. And now it's the Russians are now the new Critter 19. So they got a new blame right there. There you go. Thanks for watching, Tree Climber 24 Karat. Writing letters. Yeah, I believe that. Should start writing letters and call. Oh man, I told you I was going to give you some numbers here. Give me 1 second here. Both sides controlled by the global. Play paper mark, you don't play, you can't win. I'm going to go over the rest of the comments. Wow, there's a lot of comments here. Gary Moore, again, thank you folks, Large, Rich, all you folks for commenting. And let's see here. Yeah, that is a lot, $5 per car. That's pretty common. Pretty funny there, John. Silver liner, awesome, cool for you, man. Relax, go fishing. If you got no money to stack on there at these lower levels, just go fishing, relax. It'll be fine, man. I'm desperately buying the dip. Cool, if you got the money to buy the dip. But remember, folks, don't put all your eggs in one basket. I don't want to see all of you all of a sudden say, oh, all my investments are entirely in silver. Please don't do that. Be diversified. It's a smart thing to do. I'm kind of diversified. Well, not as much as I should be. 7th, who's squeaking when it doesn't get greased. Hey, thanks, Joe. Celtic not, and seems like only winning starting now. Buy and sell, trade it for gold. Not really. I think silver's going to hit its mark. Don't worry about it. Again, go fishing. When you talked about payment, do you include PSLV? No, I think PSLV actually has the silver that they claim they do. And I also believe SLV has the silver they claim do it, unless it's, you know, they own pieces of paper that say they own silver and other people own it. I'm not quite sure. Ted Butler believes that they actually own the silver that they do. But again, I'm not a paper guy. So, but yeah, paper is PSOE as well. What strategies can be adopted to beat battles COMEX manipulation? I would sure love to see the Wall Street Silver Apes start a program where they start calling COMEX on a daily basis, like hundreds of them, thousands of them. And being polite and doing it civilly, and just let them know we're watching. We're not going to let up until you guys start doing something about this. We'll keep your phone lines and your emails lit up civilly. Again, civilly and not being nasty about it. We'll keep it lit up until, that's kind of like a protest too, isn't it? We'll keep it lit up until you do something about it. I think we should. I think we should keep your lines lit up, their emails lit up. Again, do it civilly, do it politely. Critical this time, yep, boy, that would be nice to see. Prohibit banks from trading precious metals, absolutely. Everything is corrupt, but maybe on the other hand, it might not be good. Maybe you do want banks to be able to buy metals, real metals, if their customers want them. Maybe it just needs to be, we need to get rid of these crooked paper markets. And the crooked reasons why these guys all collusively get together and drive these markets down. They're not doing it to hedge. To some degree, yeah, I agree, man. Everything is corrupted to some degree when it comes to government, economics, and politics. Again, time for us to take back this country, folk. Also a great time to think for yourself and question authority. This is my quote for the year, folks, and I live by this. When I heard this when I was a young man, it made a big impact in my life, and it still does to this day. And you know what? It made me question what I knew then, even. Hey, what did I, you know, my thoughts, my narratives, my opinions in my head, are they really my own, or are they the CNN or Fox or PBS or a government narrative or my teacher's narrative or my parent? you know, you also got to question what you believe. Where did it come from? And maybe sometimes the things you believe in the most may not be correct. Always recheck yourself, folks. And then it makes it much easier to call out other people as well. Hey, thanks for watching. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Call me anytime between 10 and 4 Monday through Friday. If you live in South Florida, happy to help you out with your purchases. If you don't live in South Florida, please find yourself a good, handsome, smart guy like me to do business with. I spend my money locally. I spend it with the local mechanics, the local restaurants. It filters back into the community's pockets. Once you go to the big boys and you send your money out of your state, it's never coming back, folks. Keep your money local, and you know, I think it's a good idea. Hey, thanks for watching. Talk to you tomorrow, and let's see where these markets head. Bye now.